What is up, all? Rest in Noise, number 7.
How's it going? Coming back from the Pig Destroyer show in Oakland.
Yeah, it was super interesting.
Very interesting.
I almost felt like we're in the presence of greatness, like...
Yes, definitely. Well, it felt like, when you say that, it harkens back. I think the last show we felt like that was probably The Obsessed.
Yeah, probably.
Where you're like, this is something special.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying we haven't seen a lot of great performances in there, but there's certain bands where you're just like, there's something special about this.
Right.
They're taking it to a level that's just not achievable by a lot of people.
They were super tight, too.
Hella tight.
Yeah.
And by being so tight, it's groovy almost.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
You know, it's... Well, like grindcore in general has that sort of groove, you know, where you do the blast beats for a while and then you give them something to latch onto. Blast beats craziness, give them something to latch onto. Right.
I liked how energetic the synthesizer guy was. I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, I'm doing a disservice to him by comparing him to this guy, but I don't know if there are any Mighty Mighty Boss Tones fans out there going way back. But they used to have a guy who would go around and dance on the stage during their performance, and that was his job, was to sort of just be around the stage and sort of amp up the crowd, and you know, just sort of connect with the crowd almost, and that it seemed like he took on that persona for Pig Destroyer. You know what I mean? Where he was just like getting the people into it.
Right. Flipping people off.
Yeah.
Jumping up in the air.
Right. Well, yeah. He was definitely interesting.
Every member seemed like they were having a good time too. I mean, super into what they were doing, and the sound was fucking amazing. Oh my god!
Amazing. Yeah, they do a good job there. The ambiance was good. I love that place. I felt bad for the Metro though, because apparently their liquor license got pulled, so we bought as many waters as we could stand. As many $2 waters as we could to help them out. But yeah, the ambiance of the whole entire show was good. It was, all the other bands did a great job of warming it up for them too.
Yeah, Necrot was dope.
Necrot was way groovier than I remember them.
Yeah, I mean the guitar was super like in your face this time, which is what was badass.
Right, it was definitely a different performance than the one we saw at Eli's in Oakland.
Yeah,
with their Blood Offerings CD release or DVD or whatever release.
Right. But before they came on, I followed them on Instagram, and I know they've been like all over the fucking US, all over the place. And they're finally back home. And I was thinking like, these motherfuckers are gonna be so tight.
Right.
From playing a show every fucking day.
And you were right, yeah.
For months.
They were.
They were.
Yeah.
I love that band.
Yeah, they're a good band. They definitely have a I don't know how to put it. There's a punk element to them that not a lot of death metal bands have. I'm not saying they sound like a punk band, but there's a stripped downness to some of their sound that not some death metal doesn't have. Some of it comes at you like a wall of sound, but there's ways, you know, you can latch on to a guitar or something like that. Appreciate it that way.
Right.
Yeah, no, they were impressive. Then
Call
was Call of the Void, which was very impressive. I know a couple years back you had sent me their Relapse release. I can't remember the name of it, but
you got the tape right here. You actually bought it at the show, right?
Yeah.
Ageless.
Ageless.
Yeah.
Call of the Void. I'll definitely be posting some pics of all the merch I picked up from the show there. They had some cool stuff. Still, nothing compares to that Goya show.
Yeah, Goya has some amazing
That
merch.
Goya and Surrounded by Serpents. What? I feel bad for not remembering their name right now. But in the Company of Serpents,
There
both
we
of
go.
those bands were on point with their marketing.
Yeah.
$5 CDs, $5 tapes, $2 rolling papers, pins, stickers, patches, everything. And I mean, that was all to be had at this show, but each band didn't have all that stuff, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like one band had patches, another band had patches and stickers, and another band had, shirt. They all had shirts.
Right.
The one thing I was disappointed in was I was really hoping to get that Mass and Volume record.
Oh, that Pig Destroyer record.
Yeah, that Pig Destroyer record that came out on Relapse. Sort of them throwing their hat in the ring on the sludge doom genre. And it was... I saw it, and then I thought, okay, I'll come right back and get it. And by the time I came back, it was crossed out, and it sold out already. Yeah, I think some people were ready to pounce on that fucker. So. Good for them, though. I ended up getting some cool artwork. That was the one cool thing for this show is they had a poster and it was signed by the artist. So, as an artist, I'm stoked on that one.
It looks super clean too.
Yeah, some of the best printing I've seen in a long time. And then after Call of the Void was good. Call of the Void, what would their sound? What would you say about them?
I would throw them in the same circle as like Trap Them. Bands like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Super noisy, like
There's almost like
there's a hardcore element to it, but it's not
a
hardcore.
hardcore element to it, but like a weird art element to it.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It's there's definitely an edge there, like what do you want to say?
It's like grindy.
There's an avant-garde edge there too.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like a weirdness, where not a lot of bands have. They were good.
They were good.
Yeah, I mean,
I had a fun time watching the two guitarists play the same notes together. Watching their hands slide up and down, I was like, that's crazy.
Right, and once you pointed that out to me, I couldn't stop watching it.
Then we saw Connoisseur open.
Right, which, to be honest, I mean, from their record, it sounded good. We thought, okay, that's cool. Stoner power violence, death metal. I don't know what you want to call it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But seeing them live, it's definitely brought a new appreciation.
Yeah, they're super into their weed, for one.
Which was awesome. It was awesome seeing the plumes of marijuana smoke as they played. It was like I felt totally comfortable lighting up and just blowing smoke wherever the fuck I wanted.
The Chromag's cover they did was badass.
Badass.
They changed the lyrics to wheat. What do they say?
I don't know. They were saying something. It was like
they covered.
It could have been Weed Times for all we know.
Weed Time, yeah. They covered Hard Times by
or High
Chromag's.
Times.
It probably was High Times.
That's right.
So yeah, Hard Times by Chromag's changed to High Times, I guess. It was dope.
Yeah, they were a good band. They were funny,
They were.
Had a Blink 182-esque shtick. If anybody's seen Blink 182 from back in the day, you'll know what we're talking about. Forgive me for being a metal podcast and harkening back to Blink 182 and Mighty Mighty Boss Tones for that matter. But hey, we all have to come from somewhere, don't we?
True.
That was us back in the day.
So yeah, that was They were hella looking forward to that show, dude. That was
and I was
totally worth it too.
totally worth it.
The drive to Oakland and
Yeah, it's awesome where that show is at. The
first show I've been to, like, I can't even tell you the last show I've been to that there's ins and outs.
right.
We're walking the streets in between bands and shit.
That was badass. Yeah,
badass.
you feel free. Like you didn't just. It's funny how you get into these shows. Sometimes you feel like you're giving away freedom. You're like, okay, I just paid, motherfucker. Now I'm being
Trapped
told what I. Now I'm being trapped somewhere with a bunch of assholes. Yeah, but no, it was good. It was fun to walk over to Bev Mo and get some drinks between songs.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was interesting how there was not a lot of people there for Connoisseur, but people who were there for Connoisseur were excited about seeing them.
Right.
You know,
I liked them.
yeah, they definitely had an audience and a following, and it was interesting. It felt good to finally be in on the joke. I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you see Connoisseur shit everywhere, and you're like, Connoisseur, what the fuck? When you see that on a sticker, that can mean a million things these days.
Right. It could have been, yeah.
You know, that could have been a new pot shop. You know, for all I knew. And then, lo and behold,
we're driving.
we're driving. We're slowing.
What was here?
Forgive the dead time. There we go. So yeah, no, I think our anticipation was well placed.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next show we're hitting up is that
Ace Phalanx. I'm sure something will pop up before then, but
yeah, I think
that's the one next plan. The next plan.
I think I'm going to the forgive my my mispronunciation of this. The Weltmesser.
Oh, that's right.
There's a band
Tuesday
playing on Monday or Tuesday night over at the Blue Lamp. They sound pretty heavy, so I think I will check it out. You know, a lot of good shit coming through Sacramento lately, which is one of the reasons we're excited to start this podcast. There's a lot of shit to talk about. You know, so it's cool.
So they have released the first bunch of bands for next year's California Death Fest 4. But yeah, here the bands are Dark Angel, Ex-Hoarder, Cancer, Sinister, Enemy Soil, and Wormed. And yeah, I'm super excited about seeing Wormed and Enemy Soil.
Tell them your Worm story.
Oh, a dude at work gave me a Wormed record to check out like months ago, and I never heard of him, and now I get to fucking see him. It's fucking crazy. Super chaotic grindcore, like intense,
unrelenting, does not let up.
Right. And Enemy Soil's the shit. Dude from Pig Destroyer, the vocalist, said he'd be at the Enemy Soil show.
Yeah, he said, I think he's in Enemy Soil, right?
Right. Well, I knew a member of Pig Destroyer was in Enemy Soil, but I didn't know which one. So
he said
he's probably the vocalist.
Right. He gave big ups to the crowd, Oakland for being a cool place for metal and grindcore in general, with his second show he ever played being at the Gilman, which if you aren't familiar with Gilman is sorry, I had the hiccups, but Gilman is a punk rock a mainstay of Berkeley. You aren't officially I don't know what you call it. Well, you aren't officially a punk band or officially a cool person,
right?
Unless you play the Gilman at least once.
It's only for independent artists only.
Right.
They won't let anyone play there that's on like a major label or.
I remember Soylent Green not being able to play there because they had sadomasochistic lyrics.
Really?
Yeah. That was one of the... I heard that show we were supposed to see, that Today is the Day show,
Yeah.
was supposed to be there.
That's hilarious.
But it got moved to the Cocodrie because they had lyrics that talked about abusing women.
That's
and if you know anything about Gilman in Berkeley, you also know that they take their politics very seriously.
So now I know why everyone was excited when they played Slap Fuck.
Yes. Yeah, because that was the one reason they couldn't play. They were not allowed to play it, and so they said, you know what? Fuck you. We'll play somewhere else.
We'll play Slap Fuck whenever we want.
Right.
No, I just remember the crowd like was super excited about them playing that, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good song, but what's
the deal here?
What's the deal here? Now I know. I didn't know that.
Right. And it's weird too if you go back and Soylent Green. I don't know if anybody knows that a lot of their lyrics are based off of Marquis de Sade, or inspired by the Marquis de Sade, which is sadomasochistic. That's the whole slave servant thing that some people like.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. Interesting little fact. Yeah. So Enemy Soil's gonna be playing.
Yeah.
Wormed is good.
Worm's the shit. And then I gotta do my research. Like, I've heard of all these bands, but I haven't spent any time with Dark Angel or Sinister.
Yeah, Sinister, from what I've heard so far, I liked it. Reminds me of the prototype for Lair of the Minotaur or something like that. You know, something brutal. I wouldn't say they sound like Bolt Thrower, but definitely throw them in that Bolt Thrower category. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cancer.
Cancer's good. Cancer's very...
What kind of style are they?
Old school death metal. Just
Okay.
old and like just fucking mean.
What about Ex-Hoarder?
I haven't had a chance to go through any Ex-Hoarder yet. What's another band on there? I went to listen to Dark Angel. Dark Angel was good. I need to go back and listen to it again, tell you more about their sound. But it's definitely more. There's thrashy elements to it, but it's death metal.
Okay.
They sound like a band that was popular at that time when death metal was still in its infancy and filling out. Yeah.
So that's the first batch. You know, that's probably not even half
Right.
of one show.
I so wish 16 would join that bill.
I want to see Portal. I was
Portal.
praying they announced Portal.
Today is there's a lot of bands that Maryland Death Fest is getting.
Yeah.
So one day we'll have to go out there to do the Maryland Death Fest.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, one interesting band that's playing the Maryland Death Fest is Helmet. They're a hard band, but I wouldn't throw them into like death metal, thrash, and like sludge, you know. But I guess they did inspire a lot of sludge and a lot of like early sludge.
I mean, but who doesn't like Helmet?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
True. No, that's a good point.
Everyone loves Helmet, or at least some Helmet.
Helmet.
Like
Betty's a good album.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's all about meat time, bro.
Oh fuck yeah, meat time's the shit. There's I don't know the same. I'll show you how old my Helmet days are. I don't even know the names of the songs. I just know the song I like is the last song on the first side of the tape. That's how old.
So halfway through that first.
Yeah.
Half.
They've got some mean shit, and I know Paige Hamilton does a lot of production.
Interesting.
Yeah, he produced that Toady Moshi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is an interesting art art sludge band that I saw open for Melvin's. They've opened for Mastodon. Really good. I don't know. I'd almost call it like Mexican migrant worker sludge metal. That sounds. A lot of their lyrics are about the plight of the Mexican worker or Latin American Latinos in California. So it's definitely interesting. It's interesting to listen to. If anybody out there knows about Tony Moshi, or if you're looking for a band to get into, listen to Tony Moshi. They have a bass player that kills it too. She's amazing. Yes.
So you went and saw Bell Witch.
Oh, that's right. That's something good we can talk about. I forgot about that. Went and saw Bell Witch on what was that, Tuesday night?
I think so.
Tuesday night. I went without you for first show in a long time. I think that I've gone to by myself, which made it an interesting dynamic. But
right, I've done it.
Yeah.
It's definitely
become a wallflower, you know.
Yeah, totally.
But the first band was Chrch. First, let's get a little bit of history on how I got to that show. We were talking to Chris, the sound guy at Blue Lamp, who's also in the band Chrch. He's a guitarist. We were talking to him about shows, and Warbringer came up. The fact that Warbringer was going to be playing soon, and the fact that Bell Witch was playing. I said, which show do you recommend we go to? He said, Bell Witch. So it's done. Okay. No Warbringer, going to Bell Witch. Went to Bell Witch. Chrch opened the show. I knew nothing about Chrch. If you know their name, it's spelled CRVCH, which is the old English way of spelling it, I believe. And so they came on. I knew nothing about them. They had a female singer, and they fucking burnt that place the fuck down. I almost felt bad for Monarch and Bell Witch to have to play after that. I mean, they were fucking amazing.
I did a little research on them. They just signed to Necrot Records.
Yeah, and
Neurosis' label.
I can see why.
Okay, awesome.
You know, yeah.
And isn't that vinyl like? Yeah, you haven't showed it to me, but you said it was some crazy color. Man.
Yeah, the vinyl was awesome. It's
right,
for their first full length album. That's it's gold and black, which is a cool color combination. It was between that and I bought that album because it was $15 and it was just them. And then I struggled with going back and forth because my funds were limited at the time, between going back and buying a Fister Chrch split. If anybody knows about Fister, they are fucking amazing too, and that would be an awesome band, you know, for Chrch to be doing such an awesome band. That's really exciting. And unfortunately, I didn't pick that album up, so I'm hoping maybe to get in touch with somebody soon and from Chrch maybe, and
yeah, maybe they're playing another show here pretty soon.
Yeah, and maybe
at least, you know?
Right, or even talk to Chris at Blue Lamp. You might have a stack somewhere. Yeah, I really want that Fister Chrch split.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Fister's.
So how was Monarch?
Monarch was really good. Monarch was, if anybody is familiar with Dead Can Dance, it felt like times like the Lisa Gerrard parts of Dead Can Dance. If you're still wondering what that sounds like, if you listen to the soundtrack from Gladiator, that's Lisa Gerrard, and there was a lot of that between Monarch songs, and it would crescendo, and when Monarch crescendoed, you know, the loud, quiet bands, whatever you want to call them. They were definitely a doom band, but when they hit that, when they really started playing hard, it was violent. You know, they looked. It felt like it was good. Like they really brought the doom feel down. They were interesting, very interesting. I mean, I couldn't see anything. If you hadn't told me they weren't a French band, if you hadn't told me anything about them and you asked me what country do you think they're from, I would have said France. Because it looked French.
Right.
And the sound of the band was very French.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then the last band was Bell Witch. Bell Witch was good. It was for it just be one bass and one drummer. They got a lot of sound.
That's all it was. They're a two-piece.
Yeah.
I had no idea they were a two-piece.
And he almost the sound he was able to get from that bass. It was an 8-string bass. Was more. It sounded more like a organ than a bass guitar.
That's badass.
Yeah. So I mean, it was. Yeah. And then they had some visuals going on. But like I said, I felt bad for Monarch and Bell Witch because nothing could compare to Chrch. Because I'm just the lead singer. She just the her presence on stage and the way she moved and everything. It was, they killed it. They burned that fucker down.
Hell yeah.
Their sound is it's doom, but it's not like, it's more flushed out. There's a little more guitar. There's more guitar in there. Thanks to Chris. It does the loud, quiet thing. They start out slow, and then they get up there, and then they start, you know, bringing the doom. But like again, there's more guitar in there than sometimes there would be, or more of a chunky guitar than there would be at times, I guess, is a good way of saying it. But of the three, I think I would put Chrch number 1, Monarch number 2, and Bell Witch number 3. They were a good band, but by the end, it felt a little repetitive. Especially if you've been
not in the mood.
Right, not in the mood.
Yeah.
If you're ready to go home or you're
tired or whatever.
Say for instance,
what's going on?
Your feet or your back are hurting.
Yeah.
You might be a little irritated.
Right.
But no, it was good. It was a good show. I'm glad I went. It was a packed house. So
interesting.
Yeah. Next week we'll have our a list of maybe our favorite releases of 2017.
That's the plan. This week's been kind of slow and crazy, and
yeah.
We did go to see Pig Destroyer and stuff though, and found out about California Death Fest. At least the first wave of bands that we're gonna see. Yeah,
and some will drop off, and some will be added. And
right, of course. I hope Dead Congregation comes. I was super looking forward to seeing him last year, or earlier this year, actually.
Yeah, Dead Congregation
are insane, like really good.
Yeah, no, I hope.
They remind me of like Gojira on steroids. Like
they're popular too.
Who? Dead Congregation?
Dead Congregation. A lot of people felt gypped when they didn't get to see him. Hopefully, yeah, because the Dead Congregation didn't play, you know. Right. So I would like to say I'll be posting a bunch of the merch that I've gotten this year on Instagram if anybody's interested.
Troy Barnett 77, right?
Yes, Instagram.
Nice. Well, yeah, that's it for this week.
Yeah, sorry about the hiccups, guys.
Yeah. So happens you get stoned and you fucking go to Jack in the Box and pound a bunch of junk
before
food.
you do a podcast.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you all next time.
Have a good one, guys.